Welcome to Using Your Teacher Voice. This is my third installment and things are still going good. That's a good sign, right? Tonight I want to talk a little bit about my philosophy on EdTech. What are some of the things that a new technology needs to have when it comes to the classroom? And I've boiled my philosophy of EdTech down to 2.5 points. If a new technology is going to come into my room, it has to meet 2.5 requirements. The first requirement is it's got to help the students engage and learn the material better. And I know that sounds obvious, but unfortunately it's not obvious to the people that are making technology and making resources for students. For an example, I was at a conference and I'm at a table, a vendor table, and the guy is showing me, he's like, hey, you teach English, right? Okay, well, check this out. And then he showed me a novel. I can't remember which one it was, but he said, check out this website that we have that really helps students learn the material. So, okay. And he goes, well, first off, the whole text is right here. I'm like, well, okay. My textbook's online. Most all the things that we read are, in the public domain, and so they're on the internet. So, okay, whatever. And I said, what else? And he goes, well, to help, struggling students or students that have different needs or whatever, we've got a couple different options. This button over here turns it into the audio version. It allows you to listen to the text. And I'm like, well, okay. I mean, again, that's a good idea, but for most of the text that I use, I have the audio version, or you can get it easily at the library. There's websites that will translate text to text to voice. So again, interesting, but just really hadn't done anything to me yet. And I'm like, so, okay, so give me some more. Well, he's like, well, check this out. Over here we have the students can check their progress, with these self-guided quizzes. And I'm like, well, okay, show me those. And you click on them, and they were like vocabulary or reading comprehension type questions, and some were some active reader kind of, anticipatory questions. What's going to happen next? What do you feel about this? And I looked at it, and I said, okay, well, tell me a little more about this. And he's like, well, it gives the students a grade right off the bat. It gives them a number. Now, and I appreciate that they get instant feedback, but that's all it was a grade. It didn't link them to a page where they could learn more about this, or link them to a dictionary site to learn more about these words, or if you got it wrong, it didn't take you to some place, or if you got them right, it gave you a harder question or whatever. It was just basically a worksheet that this group had digitized. And that's the problem, I think, sometimes, is that some of the technology that we get really is the old technology just in a new format. It's just a worksheet under glass, so to speak. So I think any technology that comes into the classroom has to help students learn more. An example I like to use is, and again, it sounds lowbrow or old school technology, but the DVD player. And again, I know, easy, but the concept, I think, is very apt. Teaching English, a lot of times, English teachers, when you get done reading it, there's always that, okay, we're done with the book, we're done with the project, we're done with the test, let's take a movie day. And they show the movie. Well, the student has already learned what there is to learn about the story. The teacher was showing the movie to catch up on paperwork and get some late work from different students or whatever. It didn't really help the student. How could you take that technology and help the student engage or learn the material better? So could you show the movie before you read the text? This gives the students some visuals to work from, some context which to frame the story. Maybe helps them set up some of that background, so they have the overarching, storyline. As they read the text, they kind of put it into that sequence. Okay. What about as you read and you get to a particular place, you stop, you pull up the video of that scene, and you talk about, first off, how the book and the visual were different, and then you get into those higher order things. Why? Why did they change this? Why is it necessary to make these things for the visual? Obviously, internal monologue, very easy to do on text, but how do you do that in a visual? Or why would the filmmaker, the director, change certain characteristics of the main characters? You take the new Annie, for instance. They cast the new Annie as a African American girl in an African American family. Why do that? What is the message? What is the artistic value? What is the literary message? So those are those kind of questions that really start to engage the student more. Okay, take it to the next step. Could the students film an alternate ending? Could they film a interview between themselves and one of the characters? Not only do the students have to understand the context of the story, but then they have to be able to visualize those characters. How would this person talk? How would they answer these types of questions that you're posing them? Not only in voice and diction and accent, but just the manner, their word choice, or their approach, or their temperament. So all of those things, even though DVD is a low-end technology, it's very apt. How does a technology help a student engage or learn better? The second requirement that technology has to meet is it has to be easy to use. I am the yearbook and newspaper advisor, and I have the whole Adobe Creative Suite package on my computers, including Adobe Premiere. Great filmmaking tool. It allows you to do some amazing things with video, but it also has a very high learning curve. Just setting it up right to begin with could make the difference in how the end product turns out. Very important to set it up right the first time. And so, it's a great tool and could do great things, but it's also difficult to use. And so I'm not really excited about taking 2 or 3 days out to teach a technology that I only need one product out of and I may use for only 2 or 3 days. It seems counterproductive. It seems to be distracting. The second and a half requirement is that it has to make my job, the teacher's job, easier. Now, part of that is it does make the teacher's job easier when the students are engaging with the material more. That is helpful. But is it going to help me teach better? Is it going to help me be more efficient? Is it going to lighten up my workload? Is it going to make things a little easier for me? And I'm willing to give up some of that if it's going to help the students. But, I do like to have something that makes my life easier as well. Even something as simple as Google Forms, paired up with the Flubaroo add-on, where you could quickly grade a formative, objective quiz and give the students immediate feedback. That thing is great. It makes my life easier. It helps the students learn a little bit better. And so, those kinds of things I really look for in some technology. So those are my 2.5 requirements for EdTech. Things that I would like to see before I bring something into my room. I'd love to hear your comments. You can reply in the comment section below, or you can add your own video and audio comments. And again, thanks for listening to Using Your Teacher Voice.